Have you been sitting at home, working from home, right? You're kind of like hunched over. You got to realize you got to sit back because you're going to be there all day. Well, working from home certainly has its advantages, its disadvantages. People really worried about children, pets popping into the Zoom meetings. There's a whole lot of things. You never know if your camera's on. People got in trouble for that. A lot of concerns, though, like I said, about those aches and pains caused by improper workspaces. So Dr. Ricky Singh, New York Presbyterian, from New York Presbyterian Spine Center. Let's talk to you. Good morning to you, sir. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, sir. So let's begin with computers and laptops, all right? People have them set up. Sometimes they're on a coffee table and you're kind of hunched over, typing away. How should they be set up?
Absolutely. What we've been seeing a lot, especially since COVID-19 back in the spring started, a lot of patients are coming in with upper back and neck pain because more and more people are working from home. And, unfortunately, a lot of us don't have an ergonomic workstation set up at home like we do at the office with the keyboard at a certain height and the monitor at a certain height. So what we're seeing is people hunching over, causing excess strain to their upper back and neck. And one kind of easy fix is bringing the computer up to eye level with books or a box or something like that. It just takes the pressure off your upper back.
Yeah, so I can see like you're kind of looking straight ahead, right? So I know you're not,
Right.
you're not looking down. So next you suggest using a chair that reclines. Now this can get me in trouble because I'll probably just fall asleep.
Gotcha. Basically you want to take the stress off your lower back as well. So while we're engaged in actively working at home, we're going to be sitting a little bit more upright. But during a lot of these video conference that we do, we have the opportunity to kind of sit back, take the pressure off our lower back and neck. Obviously it's difficult to type in this position, but just taking these breathers and having some mobility during your work session is beneficial.
Now that's okay. So, but if I thought if you sat up straight and we're typing, that was okay. You're saying are you saying lean back every now and then?
Yeah, while you're typing, sit upright, just like you were demonstrating.
Yeah.
But when you get that chance to take a break from the keyboard, then you can recline a little bit and take the pressure off your spine.
Okay, now what about lower back? That's where my struggle is.
What we noticed that initially a lot of patients came in with lower back pain, but ever since this pandemic started, we're seeing a lot more patients reporting upper back. When you're sitting, if you think about your spine kind of like a sponge, you're squeezing the nutrients out of the discs, which are in your spine. So if you can put a pillow in between your lower back and the chair, that'll just create a little bit more space, just like in this picture.
Okay.
And that'll allow the pressure inside the disc to lessen.
Oh, I
If you're
see.
stuck at work at home for hours at a time, this is a good break to relieve some of that stress of your lower back.
Oh, that's good. Now, I often will sit back, right, and I kind of I can kick my feet up just like this. So is that a good thing to do if you're working for an extended period of time? Like I sometimes will put my feet up like this and then put my laptop on my lap and I start typing away.
What we say in spine health is motion is medicine. Bringing nutrients into the disc and out of the disc is good for us. So changing positions throughout the workday is really beneficial. Just like you did, reclining, throwing your feet up on the coffee table, that's great. You don't want to do that for a sustained period of time, but in between video conferencing or in between working on a project, I think that's completely reasonable.
And people always talk about stretching, right? Getting up, letting it all stretch out every now and then. What are some basic good stretches for your backs and your shoulders, kind of if you are doing that hunch over thing? This is like my normal position like this.
Remember when you're sitting down for a long period of time, you're squeezing the spine, you're squeezing the disc. So one quick way to relieve that is to stand up. Stand up and kind of decompress your lower back. You can put your hands in the small of your back and kind of arch back. What that'll do, that'll bring in some of that nutrients into the disc, and that'll relieve some of the pressure of your upper back as well. The biggest thing is motion is medicine, mobility is medicine, and that's kind of what we preach here at New York Presbyterian Ox Spine.
Ox, thank you for, I'm sorry I botched your title in the beginning there. But, sir, thank you very much for this, and thank you for the demonstrations and the pictures. That was great.
Well, this is what we do all day. In between seeing patients, I get the opportunity to stand up and decompress my spine.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of telling patients what I do anyway.
Yeah, but seeing it on the screen, the visual, because it's easy to say it, and you're like, well, what the heck does that even look like? So thank you very much for the visuals along with it. Dr. Singh, appreciate you being on here, talking the tips. Let's get up and stretch, right?